I forget where I saw this, or maybe it was just I saw it on Twitter. Like the Wild should call San Jose right now and trade Dubnyk straight up for Jones, and yeah, that could probably happen, but I would not do that. I mean, I'm sorry, I would not touch Martin Jones. He's been. Like Dubnyk has a bad month, it seems, every single year, and then has those spurts where he gives up bad goals, but his stats still overall are as good as anybody in the league. And he's the 24th or 5th number one paid goalie in the NHL. Martin Jones has been awful from day one of this hockey season. I would not even consider going after him.
Twitter question from Steve Stay. Is it possible for the Wild to leave town? No, they just re-upped with the XL Energy Center.
Yeah, until 2035.
I think they're staying.
The future's bright in 2035, I hear.
It'll still be our ice. Yeah. That's the key.
We'll be talking about Kaprizov's son getting ready to be drafted by the Wild, maybe.
From Lance Masshart, do you expect the Wild to put in offers to Duchesne and Panarin? How about Donskoy? Am I pronouncing it right, Donskoy?
Donskoy.
Is Kessel a trade target this summer?
Well, we just talked about Kessel, coincidentally. Donskoy is interesting. I mean, I've always liked him, but there's something about the fact that he hasn't scored in 35 games coming into the playoffs. He looked really good yesterday. He was probably their best player when he finally got in, but the fact that he was scratched the first 3 games of the playoffs is not a good sign. And it reminds me of Pontus Aberg. To me, you got to always assume as a GM that the other team has more information than you. So why was Aberg scratched like the last 12 or 13 games that he played in Anaheim for a guy that had 12 or 13 goals and was leading them in goal scoring? Randy Carlyle might be cantankerous and a bit of a nut job, but he's not an idiot. No. Like the fact that he took their leading goal scorer at the time and benched him for 12-something games says something not just probably about his on-ice play, but his off-ice character. And that's what we saw here. And same thing with Donskoy. Not that I'm putting him in that category, but it's just so strange to me that he's not in the lineup. Now, Minnesota's a very different team than San Jose. San Jose, Donskoy is a pretty skilled guy, and maybe just in that top 6 or top 7 or 8, that maybe Peter DeBoer just felt like he did not fit, that the pegs didn't work. And so maybe he comes here and he's a different player. But I do think that it makes sense that he's a target, he's a right shot, skilled forward, and the Wild need that. So the Wild, I just think, should do their due diligence if they're going to go after him. In terms of Duchesne and Panarin, look, the Wild are kind of stacked, and I'm not talking about talent, but they're full sort of up front at center. And I just did a thing yesterday on who could stay, who could go, and I took their depth chart and I just showed that, like we're all talking about, they had all this money to splash around this summer. Well, they've got to get rid of some bodies to be able to even do that. And we saw last year it was not easy at the summertime for Paul to make a trade. And so I don't think it's a guarantee that they're going to go after these guys. Duchesne makes a lot of sense to me, just because the Wild, the one thing they lack of all their centers is that true number one guy. But I do think that there's character issues there. And look, Panarin is not coming here. I mean, he's just not. Go after him. You have nothing to lose. Try to get him in here. But he knows, like he and Bob didn't sign in. Bob Bobrovsky didn't sign in Columbus for a specific reason. They know where they're going. I think it's South Florida. As I wrote on Twitter the other day, it's pretty coincidental that Quenneville's the guy that nicknamed him the Bread Man. Yeah. And I don't think Quenneville chooses Florida unless he knows what's going on. So I think Panarin just fired his agent, who's Kaprizov's agent, and hired Bobrovsky's agent. I mean, it's obvious. So I just don't see. Sure, go after him. You have nothing to lose if you can get him. My God. But I just don't see it happening.
Thanks to Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent champion. Hoaglund handles my insurance, Michael's insurance. He also now is providing financial services. Hoaglund.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlaininsurance.com.
From Andrew Siljan, assuming the team is largely the same as it was to end the past year, what do you foresee the Wild doing to create a better in-game experience for the fans? The on-ice product was brutal to watch at home this past season.
You know what people that give financial services should do to get somebody is like give you free money to start. Like, you know, when you go to like when you're in Vegas and like, hey, come see our timeshare and we'll give you like $300 in play chips for the craps table. That's what financial people.
There you go, Tony.
Yeah.
Michael wants to be paid for that advice.
Yes.
As well as being paid up front.
Whoa, there we go. Almost fell.
You're fired up today, man.
Yeah, well, this
Michael
is my 18th
almost
coffee.
Fell down.
No, it just looked like I was almost.
Oh, yeah, it only looked like he was about to fall down. Just like it only looked like you broke a glass and got iced glass shards everywhere last time we did a show.
I did.
Are you healthy now? Do you have any wounds?
No, I'm well, health is a relative term. I went to my dentist appointment the other day, and the dental hygienist raved about my blood pressure.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you get a 50% discount on your blood pressure?
No.
Something
She's
like that?
oh, very good.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, see, healthy.
By the way, you never answered that last question. Do you want to answer?
What was the question? Sorry,
I don't remember. It was about the better in-game experience of fans. What can the Wild do?
Well,
goal scoring would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's goal scoring. The fans want to be entertained, but I've said it a couple times. And look, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but I do think they could do a much better job with their game ups. I just think that the infomercial before the game and during the intermissions is just it's not what you see in any other arena, and there's a reason for it. It doesn't get fans fired up to hear about the 50% off in the hockey lodge. So that's just my opinion there. And I mean the I don't know, the T-shirt guy. It's like there's just so many better ways to pump up fans.
I will make this observation, and I'm not trying to make this a personal thing. I don't want anybody to lose their job, but there's the new phenomenon where everybody has their own in-house announcer and little show between periods. And you see it at NBA games, too. Good Lord, can we have a moment where you can talk to the person next to you? Where you can you have a moment where...
See, and I'm like, this is maybe the different in generation.
Okay.
I'm not talking... I'm talking make it fun, loud, and electric.
But what I'm saying is it fun to sit and watch basically a talk show?
No, I'm saying have something different.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying, like, quiet it down so you can have a conversation about the stock tips.
Here's the thing.
Stuff.
Having a bad talk show on between periods is the worst. Now, I could go with... let it be quiet. You actually be there to watch the hockey, or I could go with Vegas-style entertainment. But don't give me a bad talk show between periods.
The reason why I'm laughing is I remember in Florida the last 5 minutes of the game in Florida, which money-wise probably amongst the richest fans in the league, lower bowl. I mean, they're all snooty people from Boca Raton. Or my hometown, and I was from a different part.
Snooty,
I was from a different part of the train tracks.
That's the important distinction.
You get these these Boca and these Palm Beach people down there. The Donald Trumps of the world in the lower bowl, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes left, and the Panthers would always be in a 1-goal game. All of a sudden, you'd have these financial advisors come, these two guys. And they just go in there and tell you how the stock market's crashing and basically sell. And all of a sudden, it's like you see the lower bowl just like in depression mode, ready to jump off the building. And I'm like, and I remember once going to Michael Yormark, the team CEO, the president of the team. I'm like, is there a way that maybe what you should do is take that 5 minutes and put it like in the first period?
Right, depress them early.
In the last TV timeout of the game when you need the fans to be alive and electric, and you're telling them like, your portfolio gone. You know that money you gave to us? It's a Ponzi scheme. Like, that type of stuff.
I can't remember what any of the questions were. This is awesome. Quickly, Bite Squad. If you go have lunch at your office and you can't get away, if you don't want to drive, if you don't want to park, if you don't have to pay for parking, if you don't want to wait in line, if you don't have to fight for a table, get great restaurant food delivered right to your door, ready to eat. Don't have to do dishes. You can pay right on the Bite Squad app. Download the Bite Squad app. Go to bitesquad.com. Use a promo code TALKNORTH for your first delivery free. But most of you probably already use that by now. Just use it because good company, great food. They support us, and we appreciate it.
Do they deliver coffee?
I actually think they would. Actually, I would. Why don't you try that out?
I got an email today from Bite Squad. They deliver breakfast now.
Yeah, they deliver everything. Yeah. You can get them to deliver a pint of ice cream if you want.
Well, that's like the epitome of laziness when you can't even get up to go get your ice cream.
But why does it? What makes getting in your car and driving someplace and walking into a store not lazy? I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if you're going to eat a pint of ice cream for like 500 calories, you can at least expend about 40 by walking there.
Yeah, that's.
And
great.
I'm no one to talk, but
yeah, 40 calories will definitely alleviate.
Now you're down to 460.
This has been Math, brought to you by Michael Russo. From Trevor Cole, not a question but an observation, but after watching these teams perform at an elevated level, the Wild had no business being in the playoffs. These teams have skill at an excess, heart, grit, etc. Excited for the Wild to get there someday, but they aren't there now.
I said to Bruce the other day, I said, hey, no offense, but after watching Game 1 of the Calgary-Colorado series, Calgary would have beaten you in 3.
He knows. You think he doesn't know? From Eric Berg, any chance Leopold sends Fenton to a class or two on public and media relations?
They're working on it. They're working with him. They're trying. One way that he could probably help himself is not to sit there and like an entire presser, sit there and take little slap shots at me over my reporting. I mean, my favorite one was that the day that they fired Shep, and he fired Shep and Bruno, and he said, first of all, to correct the report, they weren't fired. They weren't renewed. Well, first of all, they were told not to come back in the building
semantics.
the next 2.5 months while their
fired.
contract's up, so they're fired. But the other one is, so I reported that day that Chris O'Hearn was going to be the guy that replaced Shep Harder, and he had to correct that in there. I have feelers out. No, he was already hired.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't report stuff if it's not accurate, and he was already hired, and today they announced him. So it's like...
It's a bad look.
It is. I mean, it just makes yourself. I mean, look, I'm not trying to on every single show rip on Paul, but man, I've never dealt with a GM that is so worried about every single thing that I'm writing and reporting.
It's just insecurity,
and it's creating a bit of an issue here, and so I do think they are trying to work with him on that because look, it's like I said to him in Dallas. I'm like, Paul, I've next season is going to be my 25th covering the NHL. This stuff is not coming from inside your organization. It's the fact if you're hiring Chris O'Hearn, I'm getting that from other places because other people are aware of it. And that's just you develop relationships in this and develop sources, and people are just you get information by making calls, and maybe maybe the fact that I have no life allows me.
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus for the Athletic subscribers. So come to us, our beat writer. All he thinks about is cares about his campaign. But I mean, it's like just driving to do this podcast. It's a half hour in the car. I got nothing to do. So what do? I just start calling people. And, just for. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing? Congratulations on your playoff win. And next thing you know, you learn something. I mean, I've done that forever. There is never a point where I'm just like, it's funny. Before the trade deadline, I put that stupid thing that you get on the iPhone. It tells you your screen time, and mine was like at 14 hours. And it's probably a little ridiculous, but it is. It's me just sitting there and constantly texting and talking and probably refreshing Twitter about 1,000 times. So, what were you saying?
I have no idea.
But no, I mean, look, again, I'm not. This would be, that one was just.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Because I was a beat writer for a while too. I was a pro beat writer for about 9-10 years, and one thing people like Fenton have to realize is the average length of a GM staying with one team is probably 3 or 4 years before you get fired. Some get fired after 2, some might stay for 6, but it's 3, 4, 5 years, right? Somewhere in that ballpark.
GMs, you hope is longer because you got to give them time to develop their plan.
Let's look upper end of the spectrum. Let's say 6 years. Mm-hmm. You're going to be still reporting on the league and reporting on him and reporting on what happened in his tenure for the next 30 years.
Oh God!
Seriously, what a dumb move!
Are you trying to make me run in traffic right now?
What a dumb move, though, to tick off the people who are going to be writing your history.
Are you telling me that I'm going to be covering the Minnesota Wild for the next 30 years?
If you're lucky.
Thanks I was in such a great mood.
That's why you come here. So
anyway, but look, and I'll work through this with him, but he's got to understand, I have a job to do, and I've never dealt with somebody that is so, he spends half his day trying to figure out who the leaks are. And it scares the shit out of me because, sorry, Brandon, because people are literally getting fired over this.
Right.
And then they're getting fired and I'm still breaking the stories. So it's like all of a sudden